Hey, what's up everyone? It's Doug with Retro Geek Gaming, bringing you another video discussion, and I do apologize for the lack of video content lately. Life has just been catching up with me. I have a new job that I started, and I was focusing on training and understanding the material and all that stuff. But I do have some free time now. I want to sit down and do a real quick video discussion, get you guys' opinions on it. You can always feel free to put that down in the comments if you have anything to say about it. And I've been meaning to talk about this for a while now because we have had a very low amount of Nintendo NX news, like hardly anything about it. We keep getting confirmation from people that, of course, it's a hybrid system. I've kind of grown to accept that now because it's something that just will not die, but I still think that's going to be like like a hybrid, but not really a hybrid, but still sort of the idea of like a portable and a console. Like it's going to be technically different hardware, but it's going to be somehow. But I just don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as everybody's going to make it out to be. I think it is something closer to like a Vita PS4, where it's going to be technically the same, but they kind of work off each other. I don't know. We'll see when Nintendo shows it off, whenever they show it off. Now, the purpose of this video is to talk about a Nintendo NX delay, because I believe that a Nintendo NX delay is going to come for a few different reasons. But we have rumors that are floating around now that are saying that I think they're going to reveal it. I think they said around the 21st is when the rumor said. And, you know, that could still happen because we've seen it before with, like, the PlayStation 4 Pro, where Sony sort of showed it off, announced it, and then gave it a release date that was only like a month or two away. So, Nintendo could potentially show it off next week and still have that 5-month gap to sort of promote it and get developers behind it. It really depends upon how ready they are. You know, if you got developers that have 30 games ready to go and they like, you know, we're ready to go, we've got this thing marketed perfectly to where we can address it and show it off as completely new and get people, like, we've got a different name for it, we've got the whole premise for it, we've got everything, then yeah, I think they probably could. But I just think that it would be best for them to wait and to delay it. And one of the reasons why is because typically it takes right around 6 to 8 months to properly get things ready. It's one of the reasons why we have a lot of these games that get shown off at E3 that don't come out for at least 6 months, 7 months after they're shown. Sometimes they're even shown at the next year's E3 because they still have another year or so of development. So I think it's best for Nintendo to wait. Now, I know that that's going to ruffle some people's feathers. And trust me, it's very difficult for me to say that as well. Because I'm ready for this thing, you know? I have my Nintendo Wii U that I'm playing. Going back to playing Xenoblade Chronicles X. I have every bit of Nintendo hardware. I'm ready for this thing. Like I'm done talking about it. I want to see it, and I'm done addressing rumors. I want to start addressing the facts. But the simple matter of the fact is that it might be best for Nintendo to wait. Only because we have PlayStation VR, we have PlayStation 4 Pro, we have the holidays coming up in which people are going to be looking to get new hardware. And while I think that Nintendo is capable, especially of hardcore Nintendo fans, to show off new hardware and make them wait, I just think that there's going to be those hardcore Nintendo fans, they're going to wait anyway. You know, whether you show it off in November, December, or March, you're still going to get those people that they're holding on to their money and waiting for it. But for the casual and for the general market of people who just like, you know, they're just looking to get something for the holidays, they're probably going to get PlayStation 4 Pro. They're probably going to get PlayStation VR. They're going to probably get something else. So the whole idea of, to me, showing it off October 21st, if that's really when they show it off, doesn't seem like it's going to really do much momentum for the NX. I think it probably would be best to wait for Probably March, because I mean that's the beginning of Nintendo's fiscal year. My understanding is that that's the beginning of their fiscal year. So go ahead and wait. Start teasing it a little bit in March. Then wait until E3 next year to show it off. And show off those 30 games. Make it a big hour-long presentation of showing trailer after trailer of awesome third-party games and first-party exclusives and all the different features that this thing has and what you can do with it, and really push it. Like really push it, you know, get this thing the momentum it deserves, showing it on the biggest stage of them all, basically the Super Bowl of gaming. And yeah, do something that you haven't done in a while. Don't do a Nintendo Direct, do a live presentation. Do it there so people can actually play it. Ask the media to come and try this thing out and talk about it and just get that hype and steal it. Steal it from anything Microsoft and Sony could potentially do. That's what I think would be best. Probably not. Probably not going to be what they're going to do. But regardless of whatever they do, I am excited to get confirmation about the Nintendo NX. If it is October 21st, then great, fantastic. It'll give me something to finally talk about, some facts to throw out there, something definitive that we can finally say this is what it is. Give it its final name, which I'm okay for Nintendo NX because they did the same thing with the Nintendo 64. They were initially going to call it the Ultra 64. They just called it the Nintendo 64. This thing is so it was codename Ultra 64, again Nintendo 64, codename NX, just call it the Nintendo NX, and that's perfectly fine because then you have the NES, the Super NES, and the 64. Then you have the Wii, the Wii U, and the NX, which means that your next system will be kind of like the GameCube, and then we'll start all over. But the point of the matter, regardless of what you call it, regardless of what games you have ready, I think that there is going to potentially be a delay with this thing. Because every single time that we've gotten something that's just like, oh, well, we're blocking off the third floor of this building for, people are just like, oh, this is going to be this when they're going to show off the NX. Nothing happens. Oh, they're going to show it off at Tokyo Game Show. Nothing happens. Oh, they're going to show it off nothing happens. Okay? And this is part of Nintendo's own doing. I know that because they were talking about, we're going to give you more information in 2016. Dude, 2016 is almost over. You still haven't given us much information. So I understand that part of it is Nintendo's fault. Because they said they were going to talk about it, they haven't yet. And now they don't even want to address it at all, which just makes us want to address it. Like, why don't you want us to talk about it? Why don't you want us to ask about it? Is it ready or not? But the fact of the matter is that, to me, if it was ready to go, and it was ready to go in March, they would have probably shown this thing off at Tokyo Game Show, because there wasn't a whole lot that was shown at Tokyo Game Show. Nothing noteworthy, at least, that hasn't already been shown off before. So it could have stolen the show. They could have already shown this thing off weeks ago, months ago, if it really has been ready to go, and they were still planning to get... Because, I remember with the Wii U, and the Wii U, they showed it off for 2 years before they launched this thing. Even Satoru Iwata stood there with a prototype of the Wii U gamepad. It wasn't its final form. It was literally just a prototype of what they were thinking about doing with the gamepad, just to give you the idea of what to expect from it. And then they're like, oh, we're going to change it, and they finally showed off the Wii U's final form and all that kind of stuff. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, the Wii U had more publicity than this. And that's something that says something. That the Wii U had more publicity than this. And I think that if Satoru Iwata was around, it would have been shown off already. Because Satoru Iwata probably would have been like, even if we show off the prototype, we're giving our fans an idea of what to expect from this thing, and we're building up hype for it. Even if we don't release it for another year, they'll understand, because at least we've shown them something. Because again, that's what we've been getting with Zelda. Breath of the Wild, you've been showing it off as just The Legend of Zelda for like 2 years, 3 years, something like that. At least with its current form. and now finally getting it at some point in 2017. You see what I'm saying? But at least you're building that hype. You're finally at least showing it off and addressing it. So maybe you'll have it ready to go in 5 months. I don't know. But I'm just concerned that if it was really ready to go, it would have been shown off already. Even if it was just a prototype. Even if it was just a basic, because, again, the only game that we know for sure that's coming to the Nintendo NX is, at least from Nintendo's, is Breath of the Wild. Now, granted, you have games like, I think you stated Dragon Warrior, I believe Kingdom Hearts was stated to be coming. So these games obviously do have some technical aspects to them, so it's probably going to be as powerful as a current gen console. Like I'm thinking PlayStation 4 Pro level. But, again, if these games are announced to be coming to the NX, that means that they've been worked on, which means that they're more likely ready to go. So if you have at least a good lineup of games coming, like, hey, we got Breath of the Wild, we got this game, we got this game, we got this, then you should at least be showing this thing off and be like, look, here's a good 6 games that we can talk about that are coming to the Nintendo NX. Here's another 6 more that developers want to bring over. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just my way of looking at it. You can always feel free to put your thoughts down in the comments below, because maybe I'm just overthinking it. It is late, at least for me, because I have to get up super early in the morning to go to work, but I've just been thinking about it lately, and it's just like, it seems like to me like a delay is going to come. Because if it was ready to go, it would have been shown off, and even if they do show it off next week, I don't know if it's going to be properly ready by the time March comes around, because they've done this too many times. They showed off Star Fox, and hey, it's ready to go, but we have to delay it. And here's Legend of Zelda, but now we're going to delay. Now we're going to delay it until next year. Like something. So, if you ask me, I would be okay with that. Like, even if you stated, well, it's going to have this and this and this, at least talk about its features, to at least get us something talking about it. Even if you show us a prototype controller, and just say, well, this is a prototype, it's not guaranteed to be the way it's going to actually look when it hits the retail shelves, but this is a basic idea of what we're going with. At least give us something. And like I talked about in the previous video, Nintendo needs to reveal this thing regardless, because otherwise it's going to start losing its momentum. There's going to be people who are going to stop caring about it, and by the time they do show it off, no one's going to care. Because I'm starting to get to that point. Like, where I used to be checking like every day for Nintendo NX news, I'm just starting to check like once a week. Like, it's just getting to the point where it's like, you know what? By the time I'm aware that the Nintendo NX has even come out, it's probably going to be on the retail shelf looking at me. And like, that's it. But otherwise, I don't know what to think. I'm sorry, I was just kind of rambling. I had a lot to think about, a lot of stuff to process. What do you guys think about the Nintendo NX? Do you think it's going to be delayed, or do you think that if they do show it off October 21st, that's probably the absolute latest that they can show it before they need to eventually delay it? Or do you think that it doesn't matter if they show it in December, that they're still going to be ready to go? I'm kind of on the fence about it, because I think that they do have enough games. I hear that there's going to be at least 30 games ready for this thing at launch. So I think that they will probably have enough, and if they market it well enough, I think that they can get the message across, but it really depends upon what the NX is. Because you have to market it well and get the idea across that it is something completely different. And maybe they're ready to go and they're going to show it off. Maybe they're not. I don't know. I'm a little bit on the fence about the whole thing at this point. I'm still excited about it. I'm going to be ready to talk about it when they do show it. And hopefully I'll be off on that day, so that way I don't have to have a delay. I can watch it live time and then talk about it soon after it's revealed. But only time will tell on that. But I appreciate you watching if you watch me this long. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter if you like. And I'm going to hopefully start getting back on a schedule of making videos at least once a week. I do apologize for the brief delay in my channel there. But otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. Have yourself a good one, and I'll see you next time.